my tax payments vis-a-vis the shoe I'm wearing or the watch that I'm wearing. Then, you have to realize that all these things are because we don't have institutions. If you have institutions, you'll have border patrols of your border. You have better coordination of border patrols. You use technology, you use drones and that. And then those ones that manage to sneak in, because human beings are always ingenious and smart. Somebody is coordinating them. And the person is not a hermit. It's like a drug dealer. Drug dealer is not a hermit now. Nobody makes money and doesn't want to spend it, doesn't want to buy new SUVs, doesn't want to buy flashy clothes and good shoes. That's why you need something like an unexplained sources of wealth act. That's why you need a functioning judiciary so that you can have deterrence. Africa lacks institutions. And the fact is that you keep money because all these things are because you are not interested in doing anything about this thing. Okay, you said this thing now, what happens next? You want somebody to come and do your job for you? Why you pick up a job in the first place?
All right, Mr. ADEMILUYI, as we custom gradually, so much about the UNGA. President Tinubu has had different trips. He has been at the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, held meetings. Been at India as well. He had a meeting with Mr. Gopichand Hinduja, the chairman CEO of the Hinduja group of companies, and one of the biggest conglomerates there. And the man gave him his, we are ready to work with you. That you are a new leader. Gave his commitment. We are ready to invest. The presidential spokesman during Galilei talked about somebody I think in the Ministry of Mines and Steel. Talk about investment coming in terms of steel. And, many of this, in just trying to draw positives from these, like some of the trips, does that mean there's no positive side to that? Yet, one. And then one that will have looked like another positive is the meeting that was held between the UAE president and our own president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in which it was, sir?
Was that positive?
No, I'm getting
You think it wasn't positive?
Yes. No, let me land. Where it was reported by the presidential spokesman that the lifting of the visa ban has been granted, and then people were rejoicing, only for a few days later for the CNN to release a statement and say they fact-checked at the other side, that from the UAE, and there was no official communication. And that has not been confirmed. So, does that mean there is no positive at all in the middle of politics?
Well, I mean,
and what do you make of that Nigeria UAE?
Well, I mean, Nigeria UAE, that was very disappointing because the Ajuri guy, in my opinion, was a good departure from the alternative reality that his predecessors, who I won't name, created in 8 years, which has led to the Naira heading for 1,000 Naira to $1. Let's just say that it was a four-power and an uncharacteristic own goal, because what he said was an alternative reality. These people never agreed to any such thing, and it doesn't look good. What you should have said was that we've started the first step towards normalization and sorting out all this, but not to exuberantly go on air categorical. It doesn't give the government any credibility, and it doesn't make this country look good, because as if you are so desperate to be in the good book. Because Nigeria is actually negotiating from a position of strength. The amount of people that go to the amount of money that is spent there, the amount of properties Nigeria own there, you are not making it look as if you are weakling, you are begging.
People go with funds.
With funds. Now, do you know how much people, I mean, the average person going to the UAE, do you know how much he has to hold? Just to keep alive, just to buy bottled water. You can't pack the 2 crates of bottled water in his briefcase. So even just the water is going to drink in the whatever days he spent, and you're not demarketing the company, making the country look like a weakling. That's not because if they don't get to your time, you can't come middle way and agree. Let them go their own way and you stay. But that thing was like demarketing, because you just wanted to do a public relations stunt. And to go back to the bigger picture, it's good that the president in his early days is getting international recognition, is saying that Nigeria is open for business. That is good. But is Nigeria actually opening for business? Because what I would like the president to concentrate on, if he has to go abroad again the next 15 months, is actually to concentrate on how Nigeria is going to have basic industries. Because one of the few sensible things I heard Donald Trump ever say is that a country without steel is not a country. Honestly, apart from that, I can't remember anything sensible that Donald Trump has said. But I think that the president now should just leave the Minister of Trade and Industry to do all these jobs and concentrate on how, each time he has to go abroad or meet visitors, how we're going to have a proper iron and steel industry, how we're going to have machine tools. Look, if you get to, and then how you are going to have how Nigeria is going to build up and move towards having electricity, breaking up the national grid and stuff. Concentrate on those three. Everything else will fall in place. But this one is too amorphous. Where these are things that should be left, because one of the things that I expected from President Bola Tinubu, because of his background, was that unexpected. I was almost sure that I was right, that there will be a minister in the Ministry of Trade and Industry who would actually be the most important minister in the country, not even the coordinating minister. That would be like a minister in the Ministry of Trade and Industry for international trade, to open up export market. Because right now, it is either we export or we perish. That was the battle cry of Pandit Nehru in the 50s, and then, that you either, so that by now, we should have had a minister of international trade and industry in the Ministry of Industry. And his own job, anybody who can export one tuber of yam, one grain of beans, you bring him to Aso Rock, you feed him, President kisses his feet, he go, these are the things that are, because you have a current account deficit and a balance of payments crisis, we have to concentrate on the export now, and that job of having ports, having how to export, cost effective. You cannot, how can you export when between one point and the port, you are going through 27 toll gates? The president should now ease of it. Honestly, I think that this one don't do. The president should now concentrate all out
stabilizing things
in the next 20 months.
Well, actually.